Hey guys, what's up? It is Ripe again, back with more relationship stories. Today I got two really long stories for you. In the first, a young man discovers that his sister is actually his biological mother, and in the second one, a young man gets threatened by his parents that they will disown him if he does not get facial cosmetic surgery. So please be sure to stick until the end. Without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is a story in which OP finds out that his sister is possibly his mom. My older sister, let's call her Rose, and I have a great relationship since I was a baby. We were raised with an amazing adoptive family and she has always taken care of me. I grew up in a very warm and loving environment, but from what I was told, I was lucky. I was told the story of how me and my sister had two drug addict parents who never took care of us. They never bothered feeding us and used to leave us at a junkie friend's house for days to go out partying. When my mom was pregnant with me, she smoked and got drunk. Luckily, I turned out pretty fine, pretty often, and when I was born, my sister was the only one who took care of me. When I was 2 months old, they left us both in a mall and left. We got help from an old couple who also turned into our adoptive family, and we contacted the police, but my parents were not at the house, which looked like a homeless cave. We never saw them again, and after several months in foster care, the couple that helped us, throughout the whole way by the way, agreed to adopt us. Today I am 19 and Rose is 34. I still live with my adoptive family and she lives about 20 minutes away, so I come and visit her at least 3 to 4 times a week. So a couple of months ago my friend offered me to take a DNA test to find some information about my heritage, since my sister would not speak of them much. After the results came in, I found out some pretty interesting things, like being 50% Ashkenazi Jew. I found out later that I had an aunt, 33 female, in the system. I immediately reached out to her, let's call her Janet, and we agreed to meet in person. All that without telling Rose a thing. When we met up, I could see we have some similar characteristics, like same hair color and same eyes. We tried to figure things out, so I asked her if she has a brother or sister, and she told me that when she was 13, her 14-year-old sister got pregnant while being drunk with her junkie boyfriend, and a month after giving birth, she ran away with the baby after some pretty intensive fights with their parents. They never found her and stopped looking after 1.5 years. I connected the dots, asked to see a picture of her, so we went to her parents' house. Mom was not home and father died 3 years ago. When I saw the picture, I knew this was Rose, 100%. Rose is my mom. We were never abandoned, we didn't have junkie parents, and she fabricated the entire thing to me and our adoptive family. I immediately gave Janet a hug and told her that it is too much for me right now and asked her to keep it a secret for now. I went to my best friend's house, told him everything, and for a week now I am sleeping over at his place. I told my parents and my sister I am at his house because he bought a new game that we both wanted for long and avoided talking to Rose much. I cannot look her in the eyes right now, let alone tell her I know the truth. What the hell am I supposed to do? How should I handle this? Should I tell her I know? Edit. My best friend just took me out for a movie and a drink. I'm not that drunk right now though. I thank you all so much for your warm replies, made me look at the situation a bit clearer. I have decided to break it to Rose this week, but I need some time to think about how to tell her I know. I don't know if I should try getting there slowly or just break the news to her somehow. I even considered bringing her sister with me, but I genuinely think she will be pissed. I will keep updating as soon as I will decide how to tell her. Right now going to bed to sleep it over. Update number 2. After seeing some comments asking how the adoption process went, I decided I need to explain some things. First of all, it is worth mentioning that the adoption process was not immediate, and it took about a year between the time that happy couple found us outside the mall and the time they adopted us. We were in foster care that time, and Rose used to keep touch with them, and they would visit us once or twice a week, or so I'm told. I don't know what to believe now, and eventually Rose broke down in tears for them and told them she hates foster care and that her little brother, me, would grow up here and she couldn't bear that thought. At that time they decided to try and adopt her and hired lawyers and stuff, and after a few months it was legal and done. At least that is what I was told. I don't think my adoptive parents knew, but if they did, then that story is probably a lie too. And a user in the comments said, in my opinion, your sister/mom did what she needed to do in order to make sure she could keep you safe, allow you to grow up normally, have good role models as parents to set good examples for you, and also allow her to stay by your side during your life so she could somehow help raise you and see you grow. What else was she supposed to do given her situation? She was a mom at a young age, but a mom nevertheless, and when maternal instincts kick in, you cut out the things standing in your way from doing what you think is best for your baby. She probably knew her parents would make her give up the baby, something she didn't want clearly. She probably was afraid of the baby being around its father if he was a junkie, which is understandable, and she understood that if she wanted a better life for her kid and be involved in the kid's life, she needed to get away from the people who would try to control her and force her to go down a path she didn't want to go down. Regardless, it sounds like OP had a good family and support system. It sounds like OP's real mom got her crap together. She was allowed to turn a new leaf, and the reason she changed her whole life's trajectory was for this baby who is OP. Do you know how painful it must have been to never say you are the mother of your own child? Everything she did for OP. I understand it is very confusing right now, but you grew up in a better situation than you would have if she did not lie. I think it is smart of her to say that she's the sister and not the mom. They may not have adopted her if she was the young mom of this baby. She would have potentially lost OP otherwise. Please keep us updated, OP, and try to see things from her point of view. And guys, I would love to know your opinion about this story. Do you think that the sister, aka the mom of OP, did the right thing, or was it the wrong decision? Please let us know what you think in the comments. And now we will read the update to the "My sister is my mom" story. Okay, so I first of all want to thank everyone for your honest replies. It really helped me to get my feelings straight and get ready to confront her. So after a week of avoiding, I came to her house with a picnic basket by surprise, so I will have a chance to speak with her. She was happy to see me and I told her to sit down because we need to talk. I started things with saying that I know that she has a secret that she's been hiding from me for years. Her face turned red and she started crying like hell. She knew what I was talking about. I told her the story about the DNA test, about Janet, and basically what I told you guys in the last post. Well, after she calmed down a bit, she told me the truth. She told me how she got drunk at a party and slept with one of the jerks who does nothing but smoke weed every day. He didn't really care about a future kid and was like, yeah, whatever. Apparently, she found out that 10 years ago he was stabbed in prison after sitting for drug dealing, assault and armed robbery. She told me how her mother used to convince her father to talk me out of the idea of keeping the baby. They would constantly fight with her. When the baby was born, they told her on the spot that she brought shame upon the family and they will not help raising the baby in any way, meaning she will have to work meanwhile to have money for her baby and sometimes for herself. After a couple of months of loaning from her friends and juggling between working and taking care of me, she had a huge fight with her parents and told them that if they are not helping financially and barely in any sort of way, she and me are better off without them. As they sent her to her room, she escaped in the middle of the night, hitchhiked to a neighboring country, and by morning she was there already. She tried to take care of me. For a few days, she found an old abandoned house that used to have homeless people coming around every now and then, and she took me to the mall when I started crying. She started crying too. The couple that adopted us immediately came to our aid and asked if we lost our mother. Roost jumped on the opportunity and came up with a story and an alias. Police figured out we are not in the system for multiple reasons. We were raised in foster care for a year and a half until the couple that helped us decided to make the effort and adopt us so we won't be separated. It took them a few months and a couple of lawyers, but they managed to adopt us both. Rose knew all along that her parents are looking for her. They came to their senses after a day or so. She reached out to them and told them in a letter that she is fine and is taking care of herself and me. She is not homeless and found a nice couple to help her with the baby. She made it clear for them that she is never coming back and they should stop looking, and a month after that they stopped. A few years later, her father went on a quest to find her. She was after 18, secretly. After so much time searching, he found her and apologized, and after a while, she forgave him and kept secretly in touch with him. He met me a few times and I knew him as one of Rose's old friends from the park. He helped us a few times and apparently they would meet up once every 2 months secretly. Ironically, I'm glad I got to know him before he passed, even if I didn't know who he really is. By the way, the adoptive family never found out about the whole thing. So after hearing this, I told her we missed a lot by not knowing she's my mom, and I told her I understand she did the right thing. I pulled out an "It's a boy" sign from the picnic basket and some snacks for a late baby shower, and we hugged for an hour or so, had a lot of fun, watched a movie, and I headed off to my parents' adoptive house to have dinner with them. I'm glad she's my mom. I feel for the first time in years complete. I don't care she lied because she did it for the greater good, and I honestly cannot imagine my life right now if she didn't. Thanks Reddit for helping me getting my feelings straight and helping me out mentally to cope with everything that happened. And guys, if you enjoyed the relationship stories, because I honestly don't do them that frequently, mainly because other people read these stories way too much on YouTube, so I don't really want to copy what others are doing too much. Anyway, if you enjoy them, please don't forget to like the video and post some star emojis in the comments if you want to support the channel. Thank you so much in advance. And this one is titled, "My male 25 parents threaten to disown me if I don't get cosmetic facial surgery. I was born with bilateral cleft lip and palate, and my parents brought me to the USA at a young age so that I could get better medical treatment. I have had countless surgeries over the years to fix the birth defect, and during my last year of high school I had 5 surgeries back to back with a few weeks rest in between to finish up the last of my procedures. It was an extremely painful time for me and I suffered depression for years afterwards due to the whole ordeal. As an added cherry on top, I missed half my senior year, did not get into most of the universities I applied to, and my friends told me, in a well-meaning way, that I looked the same when I reunited with them. I did manage to get into a decent university and worked my way through my depression without parental support or therapy for the most part, and I have now mostly come to terms with everything. I have one more surgery left that would get rid of some post-surgery scars. There are 3 scars. One that goes from the top of my lower lip to just past my mentolabial crease, and 2 scars that are where my philtral ridges would be. They are definitely noticeable when I don't have facial hair. When I grow my beard out, the scars on my upper lips are not visible, but the one on my lower lip is to a decent extent. The procedure is an hour-long in-office OP, so not a huge deal, but it is 100% cosmetic and not needed health-wise. I hate hospitals and don't ever want to enter another one unless required for my health. To this day, I get uncomfortable even when I'm watching people get their blood drawn on TV. There is this quote I saw on the TV show House MD, Season 4, Episode 7. The main character House was talking to a patient who wanted cosmetic surgery for a serious facial deformity he had. House replied by saying, "It will only change your face. It won't change who your face made you." It sounds silly, but that quote has stuck with me for years and is one of the main reasons I have refused to get the cosmetic procedure done. I also see my scars as a litmus test. If you don't want to associate yourself with me because of them, great. We don't have to waste each other's time. But if you see them and still want to be around/near me, you are the type of person I want in my life. I am 100% at peace with the way I look, and because of everything I've gone through, the bullying, surgery, struggles, etc., I would say I am even more open and confident with my face than someone who has not experienced what I have. My parents have always provided a roof for me, paid for my surgeries, given me 3 square meals, etc., but they've also been very verbally abusive and manipulative. We butt heads on everything from my career choice to my hobbies. I currently live with them, but I am working to move out. They've been wanting me to get the last surgery done for years now, but I have refused for the aforementioned reasons. Whenever I try to explain my point of view, they refuse to listen and say I am naive. They also have told me that no one will marry me or give me good job opportunities due to the scars. But the only one who ever even brings them up or makes me feel uncomfortable about them is my parents. Now I have been recently cutting my hair very short because I've been going bald. I like the new look a lot and it leaves me with more confidence than long hair. But my parents despised this length and forbade me from cutting it that short. They think no one will hire me for jobs because I look bad with it. Literally everyone else except them think I look good with short hair, but I've been setting boundaries with them and have been getting it cut regardless of what they say. It leads, however, to a fight every single time. I got it cut today after a month of letting it grow out, and before I went to the barber's, my mother tried to stop me. She claimed I was being disobedient, making her health worse, and that my behavior would be the death of her. She has been saying stuff like that to me since I was a little kid over the most meaningless things. I ignored her and got the cut. When I came back, I got into an argument with both my parents. They pointed out that I haven't been listening to them as of late, and I firmly told them they had no control over what I do with my body. Out of nowhere, my father said, "If you want to cut your hair like this, then fine, I cannot control you. But you will get your last surgery done, and if you don't, we are never going to speak to you again." My mother agreed that they would never speak to me again if I did not relent, and my father pointed out that they spent years seeing my surgeries through. He said that it wasn't fair for me to refuse to get the final procedure done after everything they had gone through to make it all happen. He claimed I was denying them the chance to see the end result of my surgeries. Truth be told, it felt really good to hear him say that he would never speak to me again. It happened hours ago and I am still riding that high a little bit. I've been planning on going minimal contact with them for years now when I finally move out, and this seems like the perfect out. As for our relationship, I try to have as little contact with them as possible, even though we live in the same house. I stay in my room or go out a lot, but they are not the only ones who want to see me get the surgery done. I have a grandpa who also expressed that he wanted to see me after getting the scars removed. He is one of the few people in my entire extended family who I am happy to be related to and is not a total piece of garbage. He's quite old and his health is deteriorating, so I cannot exactly wait years to decide if I want to get this surgery done or not. My parents' comments about how everything they went through, regardless of how little I care about what they want at this point, did make me pause and think. The procedure is quite easy to go through by all accounts, and though I really hate hospitals, I'm sure I will push through the experience. I have been through far worse. Should I get this procedure done for the sake of my grandpa and my parents, or should I stick to my resolve? It is mostly for my grandfather's sake I am asking. Edit: some further information to help you guys better understand my mindset and attachment to my scars. I copied and pasted this from a reply I made down below. I always wanted them to accept me for who I am. I have given up on that now, and they have never done that. They've always tried to change me and have put me down every single time I expressed myself in any way, whether it was career-wise or hobbies or anything. So at this point I'm just not giving them this. The scars in so many ways represent who I am and everything they have tried to change. I don't want their approval if they don't give it to me as I am, so I won't get the surgeries done. Also, part of me feels like if I do meet someone I want to spend the rest of my life with, how will I know if that person would be cool with me if I had the scars? I don't know, I feel like it is a deep insecurity I have to get rid of. And also, they do tell a story about me. I don't think about them all the time, only when my parents bring them up because they are the only ones that do so, but on the rare occasion they come up, they remind me of everything I have gone through and overcome. All the childhood bullying, surgeries, etc. Edit number 2, since it was asked in the comments, I was born in India, so Asian culture definitely has a hand in the dynamic. But I've been around other Asian families, and mine is not in the mold at all. While the Indian/Asian community does have some work to do when it comes to losing bad parenting practices, my experience is definitely not standard. If the other Indian/Asian families knew the way my family dynamics were, my parents would straight up be shunned. I say this because I don't want to perpetuate any stereotypes against the Asian community. In certain cases, it becomes difficult to come out and criticize your community as a minority because you may invariantly be helping people who don't understand the whole situation, spread stereotypes and generalize about you and your people. And a user in the comments said, "They are your scars. If you want them, they are yours to wear and take pride in. I get where your parents are coming from, but honestly, it is your body at the end of the day. They should be equally grateful that all surgeries up until here have gone well and be grateful that you're happy despite having to go through it all. While you should respect that they have paid and worked hard to get the money for those, you should also respect yourself." And guys, please let me know your opinion about this whole situation in the comments. In addition, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments if you enjoy the content. Thank you very much in advance. And the next one is an update to the "Parents Threaten to Disown Me" story. Again, sorry for the wall of text. After the large argument I had with my parents 3 months ago, about 2 weeks went by before my mom brought it up again and started pestering me into changing my mind. I didn't want to get into another argument, so every time she or my father started speaking about it, I simply mumbled along with and "okay." Their tones when talking about it can best be described as calm and almost sweet, but in that unhealthily condescending way. During her rants, my mother also often tells me that a good son would listen to his parents and I shouldn't harass or disrespect them by disagreeing. Today morning, when I went downstairs to get some breakfast, my mom casually told me my father set up a doctor's appointment for me to speak with the surgeon before getting the procedure done. Dumbfounded and flustered, I asked her who gave either one of them permission to do so without my consent. She responded by saying that I had indeed agreed to it the last time we talked about it, in other words, during one of her rants. I had completely droned her out at that time, as I often do during her rants, and apparently nodded/mumbled "yeah" or something, and they had seen that as a green light. I told her on the spot it was not going to happen and went upstairs with my breakfast. On a side note, I eat all my meals in my bedroom and spend most of my time there because when I sit down at the dinner table or with my parents, my mother, incessantly criticizing me, brings up all the mistakes I've ever made and recalls all the hurdles she and my father faced in life because I was born with cleft lip. And of course, my personal favorite part is when she talks about how I need to achieve great heights in life so that I can put to shame everyone who spoke ill of her, my father and me because of my birth defect, the bilateral cleft lip and palate. About 15 minutes later, my father calls me downstairs and the duo confronts me. I point out I didn't say yes and how I was just mumbling along, but they don't accept this answer. They pointed out yet again that they moved their entire life to the US from India to ensure I had the best medical treatment and life possible. They went on to say that I was being extremely unfair and cruel by saying no because they have waited since the day that I was born to see my face after it was fully fixed. They also brought up that my grandfather, who is living in India, wanted to see my face after the surgery too. This point particularly hurts when I hear it because out of everyone in my toxic family, my grandpa is one of the few people who I love and who's been good to me. He has expressed his desire for me to finish the surgeries, but he's always been kind about it and has never made me feel like a bad person. My parents also claimed that my face is holding me back in life. They think that if I get the procedure, I will have better success in my career and people will treat me better. They said if I don't, no woman would want to marry me. My mother even said my sister, 17, would have problems finding a husband in the future because of the way I look. I replied by saying that I am happy with my face and that the only ones who treat me differently because of the way I look is them. I also said that I would never want to marry anyone that shallow either. My father replied by claiming that me not getting the surgery will make the lives of anyone I end up marrying difficult. I told them that it is my face and whatever happens I am the one who has to wake up to it every day and not them. I told them multiple times that I don't care if anyone treats me differently because I genuinely genuinely like the way I look. My father then asked me if I am planning on living in a jungle away from other people, and then told me that I know nothing. He claimed that he knew better than I did how people treat me. Upon hearing this, I just started laughing at how absurdly stupid, ridiculous and insulting this statement was. I even angrily pointed out how ridiculous that statement was. He told me that while I may have started noticing how differently people treat me when I was 5 years old, but they have been noticing it since the day I was born. Now this part is important. They both went on to tell me about how much effort it took to keep me alive when I was younger because of all the health issues I had, how people told them that I was probably going to end up dying because I was a weak baby, etc. They talked about how they, my parents, told them off and raised me to prove everyone wrong. Mind you, my mother was brought to tears during this whole ordeal. Up to this point, I had been sitting there completely numb and exhausted at the same cycle repeating itself as it had for a few years now, but after seeing their emotions and hearing what they were saying, something clicked. I had an epiphany. I realized just how much they are still scarred by this experience. From their perspective, they need to see this through for their own closure and happiness. Sure, they feed me, kept a roof over my head and genuinely love me in their own unhealthy/toxic way. But that minus the toxicity is the very basic minimum any parent should do. They have done a horrible job of raising me and I despise them. Even if they woke up tomorrow, did a total 180 and became amazing parents, I still wouldn't want to mend fences with them because they have hurt me too much. I don't want to waste energy hating them, I just want to move away and start my life with their presence in it being non-existent. But I have witnessed how much they have suffered due to the backstabbing, rumor spreading, toxicity and bullying people hurled at them, all because of how I was born since I was a little kid. I may know what happened in the past, but I don't remember it because most of it happened when I was a baby. For them, I think my final surgery would help them put an ugly chapter in their life to bed in some twisted way. I should also note that up till this point I have had the mindset of if they, my parents, don't love and accept me for the way I am, then I don't want their love. And before today I had perceived their lack of acceptance for my decision as a clear sign that they don't love me for who I am or even respect me enough as a man to let me make my own choices. I still think both points are true, but today I really understood their reasons for wanting me to complete the procedure. As for me, here's the deal. As odd as it sounds, I genuinely feel attached to these scars. I see them as a symbol of all the ugly things in my life that I have overcome. They are a symbol of my strength and they are also an amazing litmus test. If I meet a person that treats me badly because of the way I look, I will be happy because it tells me everything that I need to know about them and I won't have to waste my time with them. But if I meet someone who treats me the same despite my scars, I will also be happy because it tells me everything that I need to know about them and I will keep them around. The funny thing is, I don't even get mistreated by anyone for the way I look. All of that literally ended the day I graduated high school. I'm now a super outgoing and happy person in regular life. The only ones who bring my scars up and make me second guess my own attractiveness are my parents. The scars are noticeable, but not even that bad at all. And here is the final and arguably the biggest reason I don't want to get my surgery. One of my biggest dreams in life is to fall in love, get married, have a happy and healthy relationship with them, unlike the relationship my parents have with each other, raise amazing kids, unlike the way I and my sister were raised, and break the cycle of abuse in my family. But I am afraid that if I go through with the procedure, then even if I end up meeting someone, I will never know whether she would have even given me the time of day if I still had the scars. I am going back and forth between getting the surgery for the sake of my parents and being enraged, humiliated and hurt by the idea. Part of me wonders if I will ever be able to look at myself in the mirror the same way again if I cave in. The other part wonders if I am being cruel and ungrateful by denying them this. My consultation with the doctor is at the end of this month and I'm sure they think I'm on board with it now. I just feel more anxious and lost than ever and have no idea what to do. Edit, I should note that I live with them and while I very much want to move out, I cannot afford to do so right now. I've been hunting unsuccessfully for out-of-state jobs but haven't had any luck so far. Edit number 1, I want to thank everyone for their kind words, so I will try to respond to as many as I can, but it is too many people. So I've been thinking about everything I have written since last night and a few things occurred to me. The last round of surgeries I went through were truly brutal, so I am very hesitant to get even the most simple outpatient procedure like this cosmetic one done. Hell, if I even see a needle on TV, my left hand kind of starts shaking a bit out of fear. So I don't want to go through that again. I could, because again this procedure is rather simple as I understand it, and I've been through far worse, but the process was humiliating for me the last time and still to a degree feels humiliating. It feels like I'm admitting to the world, yeah, I'm so ugly, so I will bend my knee and change myself to your standards for acceptance. I don't want people to like me because I conform to their standards. I want them to like me for who I am. I'm glad I got your perspectives because it's made me realize that perhaps I overvalue my scars. The other half of the coin is I don't want my parents' approval if they don't give it to me for who I am. I've come to realize based off many of your comments that part of me is holding out on this just to spite them and show them that they cannot control me. I just don't want them to win on this one. I want my decision to be respected because it is my decision and I don't want to be told I am wrong or they know better or any of that. It is my way of taking autonomy and power/control back in my life. Plus, it is the fact that they don't even respect me enough to accept my decision on my own body. I feel like even if I said yes, I will be proving them right in some way. Part of me dislikes the idea of being happy if the surgery was a success, because then my face would be a testament of them being right and exerting their influence over such an intimate and permanent part of me. I guess that is something I will have to address with myself. And regarding me living with my parents, I am applying for jobs and interviewing, but it's been difficult. I'm not mooching off my family. I help around the house with getting groceries and I help them pay bills with the money I have. I do as much as I can. I just wanted to say this one last thing. I've spent more time thinking about my scars and questioning my own attractiveness in the past 2 days than I have in years, and that is entirely on my parents. I have not even noticed the scars in a while till they brought it up, and now it is in my mind that even though my parents love me in their own twisted way, they will always see my face as ugly until I change it so that they can feel validated and at peace regardless of what I want. But I have spent so much time fighting them over this on principle that I haven't really allowed myself to consider whether the surgery is good for me regardless of my parents' wishes, if that makes any sense. I have also realized I am using the scars as a way to spite them, and I have an unhealthy attachment to them. I will try to remove everyone else's voice from my head and seriously open myself up to the idea of getting this procedure done, because acting out of spite, pettiness and anger hurt is never the right way to make good life choices. Whatever choice I make, it will be for me, myself and I. Finally, I will obviously try to move out ASAP, and I will be getting therapy regardless of whether the procedure happens or not. Thank you to everyone who commented, and thanks specifically to those who challenged my POV without harassment and made me broaden my mindset and perspective. And guys, judging by the last posts of the OP on Reddit and his comments, it seems like he has not gotten the surgery yet, but instead there are some other good news, which are that he finally got a job after 2 years of unemployment. So yeah, in case there are any further updates in the future, I will keep you posted, but I think that is it for now. And guys, unfortunately, we have already reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories, and if you haven't already, please also go to patreon.com/ripeyoutube, where I upload exclusive Reddit videos starting at just $3 a month. This is a great way to support me in case you are interested, and the chance for me to become independent from YouTube revenue. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.